Hi everyone, my name is Garnette O'Connell. My adventures that happen, I finally know someone who can get those into books. Her name is Allison. I've always wanted to get my adventures written in books, and now that I know Allison, she can do that for me. She's going to be doing a book reading. It's part of a series called The Adventures of a Mermaid, and the book she's reading this time is called The Rat Prophecy. This is part 2. Welcome everyone to my channel. Today we are doing a book reading of The Rat Prophecy, which is a sequel to Aquatica. I'm actually really looking forward to this. I'm really glad I'm starting to read again. Feels like it's been forever. Of course, I guess that's kind of true considering it's been close to a month since I started a book reading. I'm actually really excited, and I do have a little bit of news before I start talking about the book, really. I'm still having a little bit of trouble of getting the speeches done and getting the interviews, and on top of that, I'm actually trying to get information from people I know to find out if there are any job openings and all that. I am really tired of my job, and I need to get a new one. One other thing, and I know I said it in my vlog, but I'm saying it again. I have planned a vacation time for my job. I don't know if they're going to accept it or not. If they do, there will be no video next week. I'm actually really, by the time this video is up, the interview with Nick Danger will be up, hopefully on YouTube, because not only will I be interviewing him on Blog Talk Radio, I'm going to be recording the whole thing and putting it, making sure the whole interview that is happening goes on YouTube as well. I don't really know I don't know if I'm going to do like a before and after thing with the interview, considering this is basically the same thing that I did with Kelly Betts, who's a rapper who started No Coast Raps here in Missouri, which I think is awesome. They're huge now, and I'm a little surprised that Nick Danger isn't part of it. Of course, I think Nick Danger really wants to stay on the music side of things rather than just helping out with rap battles and all that. I'm not surprised. Nick Danger is more talented singing and rapping together, which is pretty cool. Of course, I think that might actually be it for as far as news, though. So, let's go ahead and start talking about the book, shall we? Okay, so in the first video, which happens to be the previous video of The Rat Prophecy, this is pretty much like the introduction of the book. I introduced Garnette, kind of dealing with the two worlds that she's in. She's not just, living a life on land. She's also a mermaid who is actually surprisingly getting trained by her uncle. I don't remember if I expressed that, though, in the first 4 pages. But Jesse and Kelly, the couple who knows her secrets, they actually convinced her to consider this job offer they've been trying to tell her. They've been trying to get her to check it out, which is really interesting considering I don't really express it, but I do imply that she has a job at a pet store, and I'd never really put in, though, if she quit her job or if she was fired or anything. She's just tired of having the job at the pet store for some reason, which surprisingly no one should ever understand why, because I never really explained it. But I ended with, of course, there's a situation going on with the Ferris wheel, which is their last ride being at the amusement park. So what happens is that she uses one of her mermaid powers where she can communicate with the dolphins. Doing that, they sent a message to all the other animals in the amusement park / zoo. Those animals just the certain animals that were able to escape during feeding time, they decided to help out. They're like taking everyone off the Ferris wheel, saving their lives, and the elephants, they press themselves against the Ferris wheel so that it doesn't fall. And Garnette finally tells the two people who are in charge of the Ferris wheel that it is coming down. And that's actually where I stopped. So let's go ahead and continue with that, shall we? What do you think of this lighting, by the way? I think it's really cool. This happens to be like early in the afternoon. Or is it late afternoon? I don't really know. It's close to 3 o'clock. Let's go ahead and start, shall we? The men looked up at what was oblivious to them until then. They widened their eyes with surprise and shock. Elephants had been supporting the wheel, apes collecting people and letting them go at the ground, and same cats still ripping off the safety bars from the seats. "What are they doing?" Ferris cried. "But how do they know?" the ticket man wondered. "Animals have sensitive hearing." She rubbed her ear as she remembered the screeching and crunching. "Well, we need to get everyone else out," Ferris said. He hurried to the wheel and let out the ones at the bottom. They couldn't figure out how to unlock the safety bars. Garnette glanced at the ticket man. "Where's the mechanic system? Maybe I can help." He nodded and led her to where the system had been placed. He opened the cover. She looked around mindlessly. She couldn't figure out what went wrong. Garnette then realized she had a feeling it had to be something else. She went back to where the ticket man would turn the ride on. The two-legged mermaid opened the backing and looked at the wires. She sighed. There it was. 2 particular wires had been exposed and crossed each other. "There's your problem." The ticket man peered over her shoulder. He sighed in disgust. "That's it. I'm looking at the schedule on who was supposed to do the maintenance check," he mumbled. "It wasn't my turn." Garnette got up from glancing in the operating machine's backing. She searched for her friends. Garnette hurried off toward them. "How is everything?" "The apes and cats are back in their cages. Everyone is safe. But the elephants are still holding up the wheel." "Someone is calling for a crane," Kelly said. "The park needs it to help the Ferris wheel in place." She sighed. "The bad news is the Ferris wheel is going to be closed for a long time until they can repair the damages." "I guess that means we won't be able to search for a new area." "Guess not," the engaged couple chorused. The young two-legged mermaid glanced around. "I'm going to the dolphins area. I want to thank them," she said as she walked away. Kelly decided to go with her. "Be quick," Jessie said. Garnette turned around, walking backwards. "It takes an hour to get back, and we don't want you turning in front of the public." She nodded and turned again. She and her friend hurried to the dolphins. Garnette glanced around when they arrived. It seemed the mammals had been caged away. She couldn't find them. A dolphin trainer then came out with a bucket of squid. "Ma'am?" she called out to the trainer. The woman looked at her. "Where are the dolphins?" "They are in their pen. Would you like to meet them?" "Yes, we would," Garnette said, remembering Kelly. She eyed her friend. Kelly grew excited. They walked around the tank and followed the trainer to a back area. Garnette saw the dolphins immediately. She sighed as she concentrated with her mind. The dolphins swam toward her. She kneeled down and rubbed their bottle noses. "Thanks for the help," she whispered with a smile. "They seem to know you," the trainer said. "I'm familiar with dolphins," she said, looking at her. "I'm at Virginia Beach a lot." The woman nodded. "That explains it." She smiled. "Ronnie, Emma, I have your favorite snack." She pulled out a squid for each of them. Kelly spoke up. "Oh, may I?" The trainer nodded with a smile. She gave her the squids. Kelly came up to the dolphins, kneeled down, and held out their snacks. Ronnie and Emma grew excited. They swam to her, grabbed their squids, and splashed into the water. Water spouted everywhere. Some landed on Garnette. Yikes! The two friends gasped. Kelly turned toward the trainer. Quick, do you have a towel? The woman narrowed her brows in confusion. She went to a door, opened it, and grabbed a towel. While that happened, though, Garnette's legs shined as bright as the moon. She flopped to the ground the next second. Kelly saw inside the opened door. She noticed it was a back way to something. She carelessly shoved her in there after grabbing the towel and closed the door. The trainer banged on the door, turning the knob. It was locked from the outside. Hey, what's the meaning of this? She cried out. Garnette helped her with the towel. They dried her off as fast as they could. They spotted some people walking toward them. Just in time, she dried off completely. Her legs came back within an instant. Should we let her out? Garnette whispered. Kelly shook her head. What excuse would we give? She's going to be suspicious with whatever lie we give her. Let's go. Jessie's waiting for us. Oh gosh, sunset! They hurried out of there. The two friends found Jessie waiting at the entrance. When he saw them, he sighed. His fiancée knew that sigh. Sorry, sweetie. We didn't mean to make you worry. Well, you did. What happened? I got wet. He gasped. Don't worry, no one saw. At least I don't think. Yeah, but we gotta hurry anyway. It won't be long before the sun sets. We need to get home. The trio had an uneventful ride back. It took an hour precisely. Kelly hastened to unlock the front door. She saw her neighbors outside in their yard. If she hurried any faster, they would have been suspicious. Jessie and Garnette went inside before her. After she went inside, she closed the door. Garnette ran through the house, entering 4 different rooms. Foyer, living room, dining room, play area for their future kids, and then she entered a spacious room, outlined with cream-colored glass. That happened to be one of her favorite rooms. It had a pool. As she hurried toward it, her legs once more shined as bright as the moon. She gasped and looked out the glass wall. She could see the red, orange, and pink of the sunset. When the moonshine faded, she fell to the ground with a grunt. Ugh! She drummed her fingers as she plopped her head on her other hand. Jessie entered the pool room. He sighed at the sight. Do you want some help? She glanced at him. Nope, I'm good. She leaned both elbows on the floor and crawled toward the pool. Garnette looked like she was in the army, but with a tail. She reached the wall of the pool. Her hands curved over the edge before she pushed against the wall. Garnette dove into the water as smooth as glass. That's what it felt like every time. She swam in the water as if she was cutting glass, however imperfect it was. It felt good to be in water again. She admitted time and again that it didn't beat the ocean. Garnette traveled back and forth from her water world to the land dwellers. It felt wrong to her to choose just one world. She didn't like ultimatums. She surfaced from below. Garnette swam to the stair entrance. With a sigh, she laid her back on the stairs. It feels good, doesn't it? Garnette eyed Kelly. The woman had on her swimsuit. She nodded and then looked at Jessie. He had taken his shirt off, but didn't bother changing into swim trunks. Kelly saw, too. Aw, Jessie, seriously? What? It's going to end up in the washer anyways, he said as he walked to the deep end. Garnette laughed. His fiancée walked down the stair entrance and swam toward him. He suddenly ran and jumped in. Cannonball! He made a big splash, causing water to go everywhere. even out of the pool. Garnette and Kelly laughed. He's not that heavy, but he certainly could make a splash. Yikes. She was walking to the dining room. She saw the couple engaging in a complicated design. She looked closer at what they were doing and rolled her eyes. They'd been working on the seating chart for almost a month. Almost everyone had been set. Only the siblings and old relationships remained. No, Nolan shouldn't be put there. He hates the smacking habit.
Then why did you put your Aunt Harriet there? She has the worst habit of that.
He sighed.
How about here?
She pointed at a spot. Great idea. He and Teresa would be flirting a storm in no time.
I'm confused. Are you getting married or matching everyone with someone?
Garnette asked. They glanced at her, startled.
That's the third pair you've said would flirt together in the past month.
Kelly giggled.
You're right.
She sighed happily.
I guess we just want someone to be happy as we are. Love is everywhere, Garnette. It shouldn't be wasted.
Exactly. Which is why Mandy is sitting next to Jordan.
They have great taste in clothes, and Jordan is about to start her own line of clothing.
It's a great chance for Mandy to get a step in her fashion license. She looked at Jessie.
Oh, don't forget to put my dad next to Kevin.
Kevin... She gave him a look.
Kevin Stevens? He has a friend who is part of that band Dad likes.
Oh, that's right. He did so that second. Jessie then remembered a few more things. He put names in other spots, ones that were on both sides of their family. Surprisingly, he had finished putting all the names down. What do you think? She glanced at his doings. Her eyes widened.
Oh my gosh! Jessie, you did it! We finished it!
She hugged him excitedly. He smiled and kissed her head. Now all we have to do is figure out what the rehearsal dinner will look like, what music to play during reception, what the wedding cake will be, and what to design the church. Kelly looked at him.
Oh, I almost forgot. We should call Serena soon.
His brows narrowed. She cocked her head.
I thought you wanted her to sing that Celine Dion song at the beginning of the wedding.
He thought for a moment. Oh, that song. He grinned. I remember now. Garnette giggled.
You two are such lovebirds.
What are you doing here, Garnette? Jessie asked after he glanced at her. I thought you were supposed to be at work.
I have the day off. I wanted to call Marian and see what she wanted to do. Well, the phone is in the kitchen. I know. I want to call her on one of my shells. It's been so long since I've called her and used them. But for some reason I can't seem to remember where I put them.
Oh. It was quiet for a few moments as they all thought.
You know, I think the shells might be in the guest bathroom. It is close to your bedroom.
Garnette made a look and pointed at her.
That's what I would have done with them.
She headed to the guest bathroom. Kelly and her fiancé started getting ready for the church. Garnette looked at all of her shells. She picked a big one that had a pretty design. She put the shell against her ear and spoke into it.
Marian? Hello? Can you hear me?
2 hours away, Marian walked around her apartment looking for something. She heard vibrating and bubbles. She glanced around again. Her eyes fell on a shell. Marian grew ecstatic and hurried to pick it up. She put the shell against her ear.
Hey, stranger, where have you been? Oh, you know, going back and forth from here to home. Where are you? I'm at Kelly's and Jessie's. Listen, I was wondering if you wanted to hang out today. I don't really have plans. I'm off work today.
Hang out? Are you serious? I haven't seen you in weeks. Of course I want to be with my cousin. Where do you want to meet?
I was thinking of the dancers near Baker Street. Baker Street?
Marian thought for a moment.
Oh, that belly dancer club.
Great spot. I've always wanted to check out that place. I'll meet you there in a few hours. They put their shells down and got ready. Garnette made sure she didn't leave without a shell, though. She couldn't be certain if someone from Aquatica would contact her. In fact, she hadn't called Ezra in a while. At that moment, Kelly and Jesse had arrived. They were looking around inside their church. They had decided to use a non-denominational church. They didn't care much for certain religions. For there to be a plethora amount of churches in non-denominational Christianity, the happy couple chose carefully. They found the perfect one, too. It wasn't too big or too small. They couldn't stop admiring the place before painting on a design. And that is actually where I'm going to stop, everyone. Woo! It feels like I didn't read much, but that was a lot. That was a lot. So, again, I'm going to continue reading. Oh, one of the things that I forgot to mention, though, is that I'm going to start reading another book instead of alternating on different videos every week with the Rat Prophecy. And I'm doing this because it's been a long time since I've actually read this book. The book that I'm going to be reading the week after next week is going to be Ashlyn's Dream Come True. I've read it before on this channel, actually, called A Cinderella Tale. I renamed it after working on it a little more, and I think it's so much better now, and I think you guys might enjoy it a lot better. So, I'm actually really looking forward to it. I'm looking really forward to it. So, I think after Ashlyn's Dream Come True is finished, I'll go back to making karaoke's, lyric videos, and possibly treadmill dancing, which I'm looking forward to. I do believe that is it, everyone. Next video will be the first video of Ashlyn's Dream Come True. Again, I'm going to be alternating weeks with this, so one week you'll get Ashlyn's Dream Come True, another you'll get the Rat Prophecy. I do hope this isn't going to confuse you guys. I actually still haven't figured out a cover art for Ashlyn's Dream Come True. I probably should figure that out, huh? But again, that is it, everyone. I will see you all in the next video for Ashlyn's Dream Come True. So excited about that. I bid you all adieu. I am the Esperanza 243, signing out.